Hey trackies, welcome back to another video here on TXT Track Time. Please remember to like the video and also subscribe to the channel. So tomorrow slash today, and I'm thinking I'm going to give you this video on Saturday morning. So on Saturday, trackies, only finals will be up and I'm going to be telling you about the Jamaicans that made it into the final round. Now, before I get into that though, trackies, some finals were on Friday and we had Jamaicans that placed on the podium, and I'm excited to announce that Nikaoli Williams in the men's long jump won the silver medal. So he placed second there. Congratulations to Nikaoli Williams. He jumped out to 7.96 meters on his fifth attempt. In the fifth round, guys, he went for it. He definitely went for it on the fifth round. And guess what? He was able to go all the way out to 7.96 meters, which landed him straight into second place. I believe I was watching it before that, and he was down in fifth slash sixth. So this was him going broke pretty much, trackies, and it paid off. So congratulations to Nikaoli on winning that silver medal. This is a good sign, trackies. It is a good sign for Team JA. Now, I want to also speak about the women's equivalent. Now, we only had one athlete place in top 8 in the women's long jump, where we had Nia Robinson finish 7th, and she was able to get out to 6.45 meters. So not making it onto the podium, but still an All-American. Congratulations to Nia Robinson. Now, trackies, let's talk about the athletes that made it into the finals. And yeah, if they can get onto the podium. Now, I have to give myself some props. I did give you a preview video yesterday about the athletes that will be, competing, and the ones that I think that will make it to finals and also trackies be able to potentially vie for a podium position. And wow, my calls were awesome, I have to say. But y'all know how it goes. It's a finals, it's a championships, and a lot of athletes are gonna turn up and go for broke pretty much and try to get themselves into great positions. And I saw a lot of that as well today. So let's jump into the first one up is the women's 60-meter hurdles, where we had Onika Wilson going in with the tied fastest performance so far this season with her 7.95 seconds. Now, in her heat, she placed second, where she ran 7.99 seconds to make it in. However, trackies, we did have another Jamaican in that race, and unfortunately, she fell. So her time was not able to be fast enough to make it into the finals, and that is Marissa Simpson, right? Now, trackies, let's talk about Onika's competition. No, we had an athlete called Jaya Covington, and she ran a personal best and a facility record to win her heat, where she ran a 7.94 seconds. Now, what I did find interesting was that watching the athletes compete, Onika is a little bit on the shorter side of things. So with that being said, she's definitely going to have to run off that hurdle, that final hurdle, and make sure that she sticks that neck out or that chest out as far as it can go to make sure that she can outdip some of these athletes, because the hurdles track it's very, very close. It's a highly competitive race, trackies, and every inch matters. So with that being said, I do believe that she's placed herself in a great position heading into the finals. But as I said, it's the hurdles. It's very, very competitive. And she just, as I said, has to go for broke. Everybody's hungry. Everybody wants it. Let's see how it goes for Onika Wilson. Of course, I'm wishing her all the best. Now, I want to jump over into the women's 200 meters. Now, I did talk about this yesterday as well, where I did find the seeding interesting, where they had Jamisha Ford and Nisha Berger in the same semifinals as the athletes with the fastest 2 clock-ins so far for 2025. I was like, who seeded this race? But given that, I said, here what? I know how Jamisha Ford is going to run. She's going to go for broke. I just want to make sure that our athlete, Nisha Berger, does enough to make it into the finals, trackies, and that is exactly what she did. Jamisha Ford went for it, and Nisha was like, okay, girl, you can have it. I just want to run fast enough to make it in, and she did just that. She was second in her semifinal to Jamisha Ford, where she clocked at 22.91 seconds, fast enough making it into the finals, where her time ranked her 6th overall. As I did say, Jamisha Ford went for it and she clocked at 22.55. However, the athlete with the fastest time heading into the finals is India Mayberry. Does that name sound familiar? Well, trackies, she's the one that defeated Brenna Liston in the 60 meters. Not the athlete with the greatest start, but she has ridiculous top end, right? So As you can see, she makes it to two finals and she runs absolutely well in this women's 200 meters. She clocks at 22.50 seconds, a facility record, right? So it's going to be interesting to see how one the heats are, seeded for tomorrow. And of course, it's, a timed finals. All you have to do is run as fast as possible. And that's pretty much what I hope for Nisha Berger. Regardless of whichever heat she's seeded in, just go for it and let's see how things go. But yeah, keep your eye out for clearly India Mayberry and a Jamisha Ford. Also, Jaden Mays. I just want to say, Jaden Mays and India Mayberry were going for it, which is why I'm thinking the times were so fast. One was 22.50, the other was 22.59. When you have such strong competition and you're pushing each other, you tend to go, or the times tend to be fast. So that's pretty much what I saw in their semi. It wasn't really the same for Jamisha Ford and Nisha. Nisha chose not to go with Jamisha Ford. I'm hoping though that Nisha has more to give tomorrow or today in the finals. So let's see how that goes. All right, now track is moving on to the men's 400 meters where we had Shamar Uta. I didn't touch this yesterday because I was looking at the men's 400 meters and I'm like, hey, it's going to be really, really hard for Shamar to make it into the finals. But he did track is he did, and he won his race. He ran a 46.35 seconds to win his semifinal track is. So that's great going into the finals fast enough because, as I said, it's about the time, not the placing when you talk about heading into the finals, right? And he was 7th overall based on times. It's going to be tough, Trackies. The men's 400 meters is very, very stacked, right? So I'm just wishing Shamar all the best, and I'm hoping that he runs his best race. And let's see the positioning that he ends up with tomorrow. Now, moving on to the women's equivalent, the 400 meters, talked about this as well yesterday. I said, hey, I believe that Dejane Oakley is the athlete that will potentially make it into the finals for Jamaica, and that happened. Now, track is she won her semifinal race where she ran a 51.85 seconds. Now, I watched that race, track is, and I was very impressed. She measured the field, and when an athlete tried to challenge her on the outside, she just upped the tempo a bit more to ensure that she stayed in that first place position. Always, though, being cognizant of the fact that you have to actually run fast enough because you may win a race and not necessarily run fast enough to make it into the finals. I thought she managed to navigate her race perfectly. She ran a 51.58 seconds, as I said. 7th overall. What matters is that she made it into the finals. And when she gets there, based on what I saw from her, I definitely believe she has more to give. Definitely think she's going to go for broke. And as I said, she could potentially end up on the podium. That is Dejane Oakley. She went in with the 5th fastest time. The times weren't that fast based on, PBs heading in, right? So that being said, she still has the 5th fastest time heading into the finals. So if we go off that, I know she can definitely pull something ridiculous off. Wishing Dejane Oakley all the best. Now for the second semifinal with the women's 400, we had another Jamaican in that one. We had Shaquina Foot. She lined up with Aliyah Butler. I was hoping that Shaquina would be able to be pulled along with Aliyah Butler. Unfortunately, that did not happen. And I thought she came out pretty slow in the opening 200. So that final 200, she was trying to get back. However, the field pretty much went away from her. So that's pretty much what happened with Shaquina Foot. Unfortunately, she did not make it into the finals. Now, Trackies, over to the men's 60-meter hurdles, where this one, as I said, we had a number of Jamaicans and whoop, just making it in, Trackies. It was ridiculous. Now, we had a couple Jamaicans that made it in. We had, well, more than a couple actually. We had Jerome Campbell that made it in. We had Vashawn Bastiana that made it in. And we also had Jaheim Sturm that made it in. Very, very happy seeing so many of our athletes make it into the finals. Now, Jerome Campbell won his section where he ran a 7.54 seconds. Very, very impressed with him. That was a personal best. He seems a bit on the little side, though. I mean, by little, I mean shorter side. So he, similar to Onika Wilson, will have to ensure that he runs as hard as possible off that last hurdle and sticks his chest out as far as it can go. practically dive across the line to ensure that some of these taller athletes don't outdip him. But still, track is still a fantastic race from him, what I saw from Jerome Campbell. Now, for Vashawn Bastian and Jaheim Stern, I thought they executed good races too. They're just, outbeat by better athletes on that day. For Vashawn, I'm definitely thinking he's going to have to up the tempo. I was watching his race. He was definitely with the pack coming off the last hurdle. I just don't think he ran off the last hurdle as hard as he could and ended up dropping back in the field and ended up being third in his heat. Right, Chucky? So, again, it's just making it to the finals. They did that great. Now they can adjust for the finals and let's see how it goes from there. But it's the hurdles, guys. It's always, always very, very competitive. So, yeah, I'm wishing them all the best. I can't say it enough, but I'm wishing it all the best. The athletes look really good that were competing in the hurdles. Now over to the men's 200 meters where we had Demar Francis. Now he finished second in his heat where he clocked a 20.27 seconds qualifying just on the nose track is the eighth and final qualifying spot. He grabbed that one. So I'm happy for Demar Francis. I thought he had a measured run, right? But you always have to be careful with these races trackies because again, the time can get away from you. So you may be placing well in the race, but the time may be slow. So he has to go out there and run a great race if he wants to be seated high, meaning get on the podium tomorrow as far as I'm concerned. And again, it's a 200. It's not a placing race, it's a time race. So you're just going to have to go out there and run your hardest. Now, that being said, let's get over to the men's 60 meters. And wow, 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 wow. The men blew me away. I was saying yesterday that just making it into the finals is a credit to all these athletes because the athletes' performances, they were so close, only separated by a hundredth of a second when I was looking at the times going in. But a few of the athletes after the semifinal round definitely separated themselves from the rest of the field, and you can see some clear favorites. So if these athletes execute the same way they did today, then for sure they will be on the podium. Unfortunately, our Jamaican may not be able to make it on the podium, but still, he made it to the finals. And once you're there, you have an opportunity. So Travis Williams grabbed the eighth and final spot where he finished fifth in his heat and he clocked a 6.56 seconds. All he has to do is put pedal to the metal and go for it. Go for broke trackies. And yeah, let's see what happens with him. I'm definitely also wishing him all the best. All right, so those are all the Jamaicans that made it into finals trackies. So look forward to that tomorrow. And I keep saying tomorrow because I'm recording on Friday. So meaning on Saturday, all these finals come up. Of course, stay tuned. I will keep you updated once these races are run or, whatever happens in the field because we do also have more field athletes, I believe, coming up as well. So as long as they're in top 8, guys, I'll let you know what is going on. Please consider liking the video. And of course, if you're not subscribed, it's a lot of work. Please subscribe. I saw you pay me. Subscribe. Oh my gosh. And I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.